All aboard! This is the Delta Literacy Train. All you readers, let's see what the CMAC Deltas have planned for your classroom today.
Hi, my name is Dana Garner, and I'm a member of the Chicago Metropolitan Alumnae Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And we are so excited about sharing our love of literacy with you. What will follow? Our sorority sisters from Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and Omega Psi Phi reading their favorite book to you. So take a moment, sit back, and relax and enjoy the love of literacy.
Hi, my name is Shawn Smith, and I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I am so excited that I have the honor to read to you Ida B. the Queen, which is my favorite book. I love this book because it talks about how awesome Ida B. Wells was and that she's a Chicagoan. Born in 1862, Ida B. Wells Barnett dedicated her life to exposing the hypocrisy at the core of America's version of itself. How could the so-called land of the free be somewhere that saw the lynchings of countless black people? How could a country that called itself a world leader be so far behind others in its treatment of women? Does this sound like 1862 or 2021? These were difficult questions, and Ida addressed them in multiple ways over decades. She wrote articles that took up cases big and small, gave speeches across the country, and over the course of her life that earned her many enemies. Like many other African American activists throughout the history, Ida was branded radical for speaking out against racism, sexism, economic exploitation, and lawlessness. She had an awe-inspiring set of achievements. She edited and co-owned newspapers at a time when black people, and especially black women, faced tremendous barriers. She wrote many articles decrying the Jim Crow laws that enforced racial segregation. And she led campaigns against the everyday violence that struck terror in the hearts of black people across the country. When she lived in Memphis in 1892 at the age of 30, she urged African Americans to leave the town after a heinous killing of 3 black men who had been seized by a mob of dozens of white men. The only thing the men were guilty of was owning a successful business that economically threatened their white counterparts. Ida was shaken by the deaths of these men who had been her friends, and she resolved a crusade against the routine horror of lynchings. She became the pioneer of what we think of now as investigative journalism, interviewing people associated with lynchings in any capacity and attempting to secure justice for victims even when police seemed disinterested in their cases. She wouldn't rest until the truths were made public. Black men and women were being targeted for crimes as minor as being saucy to white people. Time and time again, the mobs of white people who were killed were never held accountable. So this was one of her life's work, was trying to get anti-lynching laws, which currently, right now, our politicians are trying to get. This book is so great, though, because it shows pictures not only of Ida B. Wells, this was in her later years, but also in her youth. But it also talks about other powerful activists in our country, such as our athletes and Olympians like Tommie Smith in the Olympics. Again, talking about the lynch law in Georgia. This is the Central Park Five, which has a recent connection. They are now exonerated. To Lucy McBath, who lost her son Jordan to gun violence. She is now one of our representatives from Atlanta. To Stacey Abrams and Sabrina Fulton, who also lost her son to gun violence, Trayvon Martin. This was Ida's husband, who was also an assistant state's attorney, so they were what you would consider a power couple, so you also want to make sure you have someone that levels you up. To, of course, our current VP, Kamala Harris. This also shows her home in Bronzeville on King Drive, and then also Ida B. Wells Drive, which is a more recent dedication. So this book has many more powerful figures, both from Chicago and beyond. And I hope you guys get a chance to read this, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Thank you.
This is the last stop on the Delta Literacy Train. We hope that you enjoyed the ride, and we'll see you next time on the Red Line.